WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Welcome back, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, to Activated Mornings this morning. One thing that we forgot to mention
I
is,
was waiting to hear you say it.
in light of the CELAC summit, we would not be having a cop chat this week. More than likely, the officers are all occupied or mostly occupied with ensuring that the summit runs smoothly. So, unfortunately, there will be no traffic. Why would I say traffic? There will be no cop chat this week. Next week, cop chat will resume. In light of this, as you know, there's been a lot of criticism. Sandals has received a lot of criticism with some of the things being implemented. And even Roleza and I had some questions, really, about what exactly is the plan to assist Vincentians who should be benefiting from a resort here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And in light of this, Loop News has a story, and the headline is St. Vincent PM defends Sandals from mindless criticism. Air quotes, mindless. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has expressed disappointment with those persons who he says are mindlessly criticizing the soon-to-open Sandals Resort in Bocamet Bay with incorrect information and falsehoods. Sandals St. Vincent will officially open on March 27th, but before that, it is the venue for the Summit 8 for the CELAC on March 4th, as we already spoke about. There has been uproar from certain quarters in St. Vincent that local fishermen, farmers, and taxi operators are not benefiting as they should in supplying their produce and service. The most recent anger came from the news that island routes will be expanding to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, with many persons viewing this as direct competition with local taxi and tour operators. Responding to concerns about this issue, the Prime Minister said Sandals had 5 or 6 consultations with taxi and minibus operators relevant to transportation, and overwhelmingly, the people who are being moved from the airport to the hotel and back are local taximen. And people who are doing the tours in the tour buses, taxi and minibus operators, etc., overwhelmingly are local providers of these services. Gonzalez explained that five-star hotels always have specific facilities for VVIPs for which they will make their own transportation arrangements. He noted that Sandals will require a big fleet of motor vehicles and transport people from the airport to Sandals and back, and common sense shows this would require local input. Turning to the issue of local fishermen, the Prime Minister said, actually, let's do this in stages. So, taxi operators. That last statement, right? Gonzalez explained that five-star hotels always have specific facilities for VVIPs for which they will make their own transportation arrangement. He noted that Sandals will require a big fleet of motor vehicles to transport people from the airport to Sandals and back, and common sense shows this would require local input. What are your thoughts?
You're on the last, but well, remember you and I did have the conversation, and we had somewhat different opinions in terms of who were going to be, let's say the drivers, the tour operators, etc. Right? To the call, I remember someone did call and saying, in order for us to probably get some clarity on the discussion, that we could get or reach out to someone for official comment or an official interview. And just to note that we have made efforts too, and it's possibly in the pipeline, maybe not, right? But just to know that we did make efforts to have an official voice speak on this matter, right? But it just so happened that we saw this article coming out from the PM responding to it, right? And as I said, to me, it would have been extremely strange for there to be Sandals operating a tour company within SVG and not utilizing the services of locals. It would have been extremely strange to me.
It's strange to me regardless, but I'll withdraw my comments. Now, we're moving on to the issue of local fishermen.
Oh, you're done?
Yeah, I don't have much to say on this.
Okay.
Because what I've noticed is that when you have certain opinions and you ask certain questions, and it could be just in the slightest way tied to politics.
No, but you
it goes a certain way, and I rather not involve myself enough for my own peace of mind.
All right. I'm going to let it rest.
So turning to the issue of local fishermen, the Prime Minister and Sandals also had consultations with fishermen and farmers as he explained that hotels of that kind, as a matter of policy, do not buy from a multiplicity of individual suppliers. He said that the suppliers have to put themselves together or somebody put them together. The idea that you can pull up your boat on the shores of Sandals and sell 15 pounds of tuna and 20 pounds of snapper and a few pounds of jacks and robin, no. The Prime Minister pointed out that selling to Sandals would require items being properly packaged, as it must be brought in a condition where they are assured of quality. Rainforest Seafood, which buys fish, lobster, and kongs, not from people on Mars or people in Brazil or Timbuktu. They buy them from fishermen and fisherwomen in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
All right, we have a caller. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Good morning to you. I'm speaking on behalf of the livestock farmers of St. Vincent.
Okay.
There are no preparation made for any meat, local meat being supplied to the hotels, especially Sandals. Number one, we haven't got the skilled butchers to cut it in their way. We have not got the quality of the meat that is required by the hotel. I'm sure there's a few people. Sandal will be using a lot of sausages for breakfast sausages. Because the people, especially coming from the United Kingdom, will like this sausage for breakfast. And St. Vincent, surely St. Vincent can make a good sausage for the English people breakfast, and they can provide a good local made beef burgers. But there's no one in St. Vincent. I mentioned this long time ago. There's no one has ever taken up the challenge to learn how to make the sausages, to make the beef burgers, and supply any quality meat to Sandals. A show the hotel, the importers will have a field day getting all the meat imported and in portion control, that the hotel will just open a steak and cook it here. So what will happen to our livestock in St. Vincent? I'm very concerned with this. I'm a butcher of 64 years, and I haven't got anybody to train. Nobody came forward to train. So I'm about to shut up shop because of the shortage of good quality meat in St. Vincent. I hope people are listening and let me know what they think about it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Actually, I realized that wasn't even something that I thought about in terms of meats, not just. Are you smiling?
No, because there's a lot of things here.
All right, so we have another caller.
Hello, caller. Good morning.
Caller, good morning. Hello. All right.
Okay, we seem to have missed that call. That's odd. But yes. You were saying, Roleza?
Right. No, I think that was actually not an area that I thought about. But you know what? Finish that point in terms of the seafood aspect. We have a caller. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. I've been listening to that guy for quite a long time, which he stated.
Mm-hmm.
He always tells folks to come and learn to cut the meat. It's maybe 2-3 years now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm aware of
it. I don't know if it's
the
same guy that Midway Butcher or something.
I believe so, yes.
But I always used to listen to him telling young folks to come and learn how to cut different types of meat, like T-bone steak and all them kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
But as he said, no one coming, you know what I mean? And who you could blame? You see now, look thing coming in place now. As my old boss used to tell me, you better to have it than to want it. Don't wait until the chance come and say, boy, wait, I should have gone and set them 5 subjects. You done late. So even though as attacking means you will make sense of subject and can't get work, but you never know when the opportunity will come.
Just
You can't wait till the opportunity come for go look for it. You know what I mean? And that guy been repeatedly calling for people, calling. And look now, because there are all different types of cut in meat. I work hotel mostly all of my life. So, you know what I mean? I have an idea. And he been calling. Just like he said me with farmers also, they be calling for farmers to get themselves together. And look now, everybody complaining now. So sometimes we have to blame ourselves too. We're too laid back.
yeah. All right. I think I too have been hearing him.
We're getting a bit of feedback call. If you don't mind turning down your radio or whatever you're listening from.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I too have heard him several times. Well, on WEFM in particular.
Numerous times.
Right, with this.
Times.
But I think I need to do a little bit more because I've heard two sides of this discussion before, so I don't necessarily want to comment fully on it without because I hear what he's saying, but I also need to get the information from another side as well before I comment fully. So yes, okay. All right, thanks. All right, Ari, you were talking about the fishing sector.
Yeah, basically what the Prime Minister would say that rainforest will be the aggregator. They will buy from local fisher folk and they would sell to Sandals. The problem I have with that is I do not understand why an arm of Sandals is the aggregator in a situation like this. I'm not saying that there should not be any aggregators.
Sounds like business to me.
I do think it is an interesting part of business, right? And from the outside looking in, I'll be like, well, like, yeah, we mind a business. That's business. That's smart. You're operating within the law. That
you have sister
the right
companies.
to
You have
do that.
subsidiaries.
Yeah, you're able to do that.
Yes.
Look at Correas. Correas is now a Vincentian company, and Correas has a lot of power here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the business world. So, but I do believe that more power should be given to locals. But in that same breath, we have to raise the standard. And that's one benefit that I saw coming out of Sandals, coming to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, that now, with Sandals, the regional power that it is, coming to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Sandals is a huge name. And Sandals always provides excellent quality to those persons staying in the resort. So when I saw the argument of persons having an issue with the price of Sandals, you need to consider what Sandals is offering, and if it
can't
is
afford, keep out of the people conversation.
Exactly the same with the carnival costumes, but there's a whole other conversation by itself. But it then forces persons to raise the standard, because often a lot of intentions and persons in the diaspora of traveling to St. Vincent and the Grenadines complain about the quality of a lot of things here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Off the top of my head, number one coming in first place, customer service. Customer service in St. Vincent and the Grenadines sucks.
Man, where you just
horrible.
Go? Where you just be going, Ari?
It's because I don't want to call names of some of these businesses.
But is it a prevalent thing? I mean, I don't know. It's like, where do you go?
You'd be surprised how prevalent it is, and some people just do not know how to deal with customers. So coming in at number one, customer service. Coming in at number two, convenience in purchasing certain things. Coming in number three, the quality of produce here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Do you really
items
believe
made here in SVG are imported items?
Items are made in SVG. Whether it is clothing, whether it's produce, meats, vegetables, the quality of it.
I need to
really
go with you when you buying wherever it is you buying. I'll patronize you wherever you patronize.
Tell me where in St. Vincent and the Grenadines have top quality clothing.
Are you buying from local designers?
Tell me where.
But
that's why I'm asking you. I'm asking you to tell me. Yeah, you answer my question with a question.
I'm not buying male clothing, but I'm seeing the stuff that's put up, let's say by the fashion designers, etc.
That's put
out by the fashion designers.
Okay, do you own any of them? Have you tried the quality of these garments? Okay, So you make your own clothes and sell your own clothes?
No, I make my own clothes for me personally, not to
Okay
sell.
then. So how can you ask me now where I go in for these things?
I don't know.
You say with authority that the quality is
I
there.
think I call her. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm listening to this program, right?
Mm-hmm.
We Vincentian, we like to lay back, wait on everything, and then we complain. That's the biggest problem I have with our people. Rainforest seafood, was it by Vincentian fish before Sandals? Was that the purpose
that
of
is
rainforest seafood?
yes. Rainforest is supposed to buy locally. Yes.
Buy fish from Vincentian.
Yeah.
So it's not the same Vincentian they're going to buy the fish from to supply to Sandals?
Yeah.
What's the complaint?
What I'm saying is,
Vincentian, they don't want to come together. They sit back and then they complain.
Right. So
the same thing with the building of Sandals. The construction workers don't. They have one style of working. They're not elevating themselves. Sandals don't sit back and wait for people. These international companies, they don't sit back and wait for you.
Right.
They have a contract. The contract is 2 years. That building have to finish in 2 years. They bring in the skilled workers. Vincentian complaining, low on the scale. So when there's another Sandals, Vincentian can get work there. We need to stop complaining.
Yeah, Carla saying exactly what I'm saying. You have to improve the quality of what's being offered here.
Of our lives.
All right.
But our life is just complaining. We don't want to pay INS, and we complain about it.
Hey, NS is a whole different conversation.
So that when you can't walk, you get something to collect, whether it's $1 or $2.
Yeah, but when we get in it, but that's a whole other conversation.
Here, there's a lot of Vincentian up here. They like to walk off the books, money in their pocket. And when they get old and shaky, they have nothing to get. Pay your taxes so that when you retire, you have something to fall back on. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Wait, that last comment. Vincentians like to walk off the books. I don't think people by choice willingly go and walk off the books.
All right, we have another caller. That's a couple of things that I want to. Morning, good morning, Anita. How are you?
I'm blessed, thank you. How are you, Roleza?
I'm good.
Good morning, Ari.
Good morning, Anita.
Oh, I thought we were enemies. Okay.
No. You're really saying no. I'm Manaliana. You're really saying a whole exchange. I waiting for it to finish.
Though I am asking, I don't know. Is there another entity besides Rain?
And that is the problem. That is why I was saying. How is it that
another one? No, hold on.
Yeah.
Is there another one in St. Vincent that can prepare the kind of quality that Sandals required?
Yeah. So the answer to that was no. And there was a point that I made on Tuesday, and I think I made it before, right? I completely understand Sandals buying from a source, just one source, right? Part of what the previous caller said is that I think, and I guess this is what Ari is also hinting at, is that for us as Vincentians, for us as Vincentian business owners, we have to think on an international level, right? We have to put forward our professionalism, the quality of our products, etc. Although I still didn't know where Ari does be going, but because when I patronize local businesses, I met with good customer service and quality products. So I guess it's who it is I am meeting up on, and Ari's not meeting up on the same people, right?
Exactly.
But I do have to say that yes, we have to think globally, we have to think internationally. The slight issue that I had, right? And I'm not putting this, I cannot put this on Rainforest, I cannot put this on Sandals, right? What it is that I would have liked to have seen happen before is that the suggestion that was put forward should have been put forward maybe like 2 years ago for maybe like local fishermen, somebody to for them to come together under one umbrella body, right? To do the same thing that Rainforest is doing, and maybe have that proposal sent to Sandals. But the thing of it is, if Rainforest is a sister company, then they may not necessarily take in proposals, but at least maybe for transparency purposes, for that to have been done. But in saying all of that as well, is that it should not have been a suggestion put forward by anybody. if you know that Sandals is coming, if you know that they're going to be needing such products, such a particular quality or standard, you find out that information, they come together and they do it on their own. It should not have been needed to be said, but sometimes I find for some people within the business community, in terms of coming together is a problem because everybody likes to work individually.
Yeah, a rainforest ain't come out the
very
blue.
much.
Rainforest has been here for years.
Nobody think about giving rainforest trouble.
Exactly.
I say trouble.
Exactly.
Nobody think. But now everybody is complaining. I have a problem with this. Before Sandals came, they were there. I mean, and nobody come up. If somebody else were there, they would have been getting business the same way. But now Sandals is there and they're using them because they are a part owner. Everybody is complaining. Where is the alternative? And when people said that the Prime Minister said that they will be buying from local, I mean, as dunce and as dumb as I am, gentleman and lady, I didn't think that the Prime Minister think that everybody was pulling up with sea salt over them in the slippers and the bucket with all kind of fish to buy from Sanders.
That was an argument.
Now, Ari, listen. If I am selling mango, right, and I am selling, you have a boat and you are shipping to America, and Louisa is buying from me and package it nicely and then sell it to you. You just have to ship it. Isn't it locally that you are buying from? Because it's from me, I can't package it. And that was my understanding, that they will sell to one place and see Rainford will package it and Sandals will buy. It is still money in locals' pocket. Nobody gave competition, but then everybody start. You know, I used to do snacks in St. Vincent when I moved back from Canada for a living, and there was one lady, Jaleesa, and all she used to sell was Dubai and fried breadfruit and fish. I decided I wasn't going that way. So I started to sell hamburger and roti and sandwiches and tuna and all of that. And she didn't, before you know that, she started doing the same thing. You understand? She never think about that. So that's a problem that we have in St. Vincent. The minute that you start doing something, I mean, and I don't know. And as Mr. Gibson said, I heard him been calling for a long time for trainers. As you said, there's another side of story because he said he wasn't getting meat to buy. But then I hear other people complaining on air openly why they weren't selling. So that's another talk show.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, have a good day. All right, Barry.
Thank you.
Care.
You have a good day,
You're
Anita.
welcome. Bye-bye.
All right, so let me just shout out Joshua, Trevor, and Krempel and Anne, who have joined us since this morning and they've been messaging us. Let me see. I don't know if you want to finish your point before I get into.
No. Go ahead.
All right, let me see what Trevor is saying. Good morning, folks, but not this hotel thing again, please. Trevor, I hope I read that in your voice. Anyone who stays at a lot of hotels know that you can have the hotel arrange a taxi to both pick you up and take you back to an airport. This is generally their own agreement with a recognized taxi service. Most popular stores operate under different brand names like most mobile companies. You just have to do your research. This is no difference with hotels. I believe that there was a proposal to rebuild a government building. What percentage of Vincentian companies have started to lobby the government for contractors or for contracts? I believe most international companies start on the day it was mentioned.
There have Vincentians who had contracts. Let me just say that. There have Vincentians who had contracts working on the villas at Sandals.
All right. Morning, Joshua. Ari is correct with the exception of a few customer service and SVG stinks, and he puts those in caps, by the way. I visit often. Service providers will overlook me and my Black foreign guests, at times being very rude and unprofessional.
Exactly. Let me tell you something. I went to a restaurant and I won't say the name. And I was at the bar ordering food, and the person at the bar is on the phone with one of their friends, telling their friends, yeah, I ready to leave this job and find something new.
In the hearing of a customer.
You do not know who I am.
Mhm.
At the fact that I'm a customer, I shouldn't be privy to this conversation.
I agree.
But
I agree.
trust me, I could give a lot of examples that I
Alright,
just
so
trying to avoid.
So you know what? Maybe what happening is I probably need to go out a little bit more and to the places that you go out to.
Maybe.
Right? Maybe it's that.
But we're gonna take a quick commercial break before we wrap up this conversation.
Do you want to feel clean or refreshed after using the bathroom? Whether at home, work, or play? Welcome to My Smart Toilet Seats. All of our products wash your private parts after using the bathroom without the use of your hands. Let's hear what our national table tennis champion, Damian Dublin, has to say.
I tried it and it works. There are 4 options. Simply add an attachment to your existing toilet seat, or choose a non-electric seat, or better, an electric seat that washes and dries you with warm water and air. Lastly, get a complete smart toilet that also flushes itself. What are you waiting for? Get your smart toilet seat today. Be smart, be refreshed, be clean, be a winner like me.
Our smart toilet seat is available throughout St. Vincent at retail outlets with the orange flags. You can call us at 457-1703 or visit our website at justwashit.vc.
Yes, sir.
Our industry relies on all of us to play our part. We take pride in showcasing our beautiful island, our craft, our cuisine, and our warm Vincentian hospitality.
Each of us play a crucial role in showcasing our vibrant tourism industry.
We can create spaces where visitors can unwind, connect with nature, and embrace tranquility of our beautiful surroundings.
We need everyone on board to help us create an exceptional experience for our guests.
Join us at our National Tourism Community Consultations as we shape the future of tourism in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
It's everyone's business, yeah. Love it, embrace it.
That's the sound of your animals. Strong, healthy, and delivering yields you love. That didn't just happen. It began with you feeding them only the best. East Caribbean Feeds. Rest assured, we only produce your feeds with premium ingredients. No hormones, no animal byproducts. Just everything your animal needs from maximum nutrition. Because your animals deserve only the best. East Caribbean Feeds from Maximum Nutrition.
WEFM, the new fresh sound. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
And we're back, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The time is 8:35, and if you're just joining us, we're talking all things Sandals and the arguments surrounding Sandals operating here in SVG in terms of the opportunities provided to taxi operators and farmers and fishermen. Now, I wanted to be clear because usually when you have certain discussions, people tend to misunderstand you and not exactly get a clear understanding of where you're coming from. I am not in any way, shape, or form, no matter how much time I say it, I still feel the need to repeat it over and over against Sandals being here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But I do believe in trying to avoid a monopoly in certain areas. There's no reason why, although they're operating within the confines of the law, there's no reason why one business or their sister company, brother companies should be in control of a lot of these things. Now, we do know that Sandals and these resorts often expect a level of quality in everything that they do. And I was saying that us as Vincentian should then rise to the occasion and meet said quality, because there are a lot of areas that we're lacking in and that we need to have if we're going to compete on an international market. And Sandals is bringing that market to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Now, Sandals, well, let's say Rainforest, what they're doing is good business. They have good business going on. They're packaging and reselling local produce. There is nothing at all wrong with that. What I do think that we need to look out for is the fact that they're an arm to Sandals, and if we're not careful, then more and more sister companies and brother companies might pop up and give local businesses a run for their money. And that is what we don't want.
Yeah, I think what was I going to say? I think one of the things that I would be more concerned with is not even so much about the fisher folks selling to rainforest, but it's, are they getting
value for them
value for right? You know, is it a case where, because you know, if you have a company, they can always try to say they can always put a price and say, if you don't want to pay for it, then we can import, you know. So are the fisher folks going to get proper value for their money, for their time, their effort, those long hours that they spend out on sea, etc. That would have been my only concern. There's another side to this particular discussion, though. And yes, we spoke about it when we spoke about the population in Kingston of business owners, in a sense, where who tends to own most of the businesses, right? And then there are occasions where we also have to look at things from another side. Now, when we have, let's say, a regional company that's set up here, and in some instances, we are opposed to it. Now, how do we feel about Vincentian setting up shop in other countries?
And that's what I'm saying, you know? Right? We can't oppose it. Or we should not oppose it.
Right. But I think what it comes down to is, if you have a local company that's operating at an international level, right? Whether you are a small business owner or you're a bigger business, the thing of it is that you should treat everybody as if you are selling to an international market. The standard of your quality of product should be at an international scale. And I always think for many small businesses as well too, you don't necessarily, well, it depends on what your product is. You don't necessarily need to think nationally. When you produce a particular item or product, let's say you have it within a store being sold, and maybe this is why Ari could have made the comment about the quality. You know, it's like we expect a certain standard, or I tend to think that local stuff are better than some of the imported things, right? But I think it's maybe because of the things that I would tend to purchase or would prefer to purchase.
It could be what you're exposed to.
Or maybe it's because I have a group that I network with most, and you know, I tend to purchase items from my group, or the persons who I know or who I can vouch for. You know, so it is a whole discussion that's not just necessarily limited to Sandals and Rainforest and Renew, but you know, it's we have to remember that we're operating not just within a local context anymore. We are looking to export local products to other territories, whether regionally or internationally, and it's really just for us to up our games. And really and truly, nobody should necessarily have to tell you what your goal should be for your business in terms of how it is that you can perceive or you can push your product even further. I mean, you can ask the questions and persons can propose certain things, but I think for you yourself as a business owner, no matter how small you are, because you never know, sometimes you might end up being exposed to, let's say an influencer happens to stop by your stall and they see a particular product that they've never seen anywhere else, and suddenly you end up on Instagram, and then suddenly everybody's made aware of what your business is and so forth. Can you take it to the next level? Do you know the mechanisms or the avenues to reach out to take it to that next level? Because in those shots, in a very short space of time, you can blow up internationally. And you may not necessarily be mentally prepared for it. Financially, I can understand not being prepared for it, but mentally, think a little bit bigger, think a little bit more.
And we have a number of influencers that have been frequenting St. Vincent and the Grenadines for various reasons. And what is happening? How are we utilizing them? What do we have to show them to help them to promote us? And it goes back to the conversation. I'm not sure if it was, I think it was Crystal and I'm not sure if it's you or Crystal, but we're having a conversation about the Kingston not being open on Sundays. And somebody said that they were speaking to a vendor, and the vendor said they don't really look to sell to the tourists when they come off the boat because they don't buy. The tourist not supposed to just look at your product and think, yeah, I need to buy it. You're supposed to sell your product. You're supposed to sell yourself. It's not you. It's not you. You have. Let's say I'm selling electronics. I just put the electronics there, and that is business. You have to be able to promote whatever it is you're selling. You have to make them want it, and I think that's an issue that a lot of Vincentians are having. They feel very entitled to a sale. Feel because I have this business should do well, and I think that is one of the reasons why a lot of businesses fail.
Okay, you make an interesting point there with a vendor and putting stuff out to a tourist. But remember, in some instances, you also do not want to feel as if you are bombarding the tourist in a sense, and not even just a tourist, just regular person. Because okay, so I could be by the side of the road and I have my products and say, "Would you like to have a look?" And if you say you don't wish to have a look, keep it moving. I can't. I don't think that it's right for me to tell you, well, come back or try to quote unquote haggle you in a sense to come back and is haggle no hassle you to come back and make sure that you have a look at my produce, because if you're interested, you're going to be interested. You are going to stop and look. But if you've extended and you do the hand thing where you say, well, have a look,
How often, let me not say how often, what international countries have you visited?
I've not none
Okay,
international.
regionally.
Grenada, Trinidad, Dominica, BIM.
Okay, Barbados, Trinidad. When you go to the towns, the cities in Trinidad and Barbados, and persons are selling things, is it that they just gesture you, and if you're not interested, they just allow you to go where you're going, or do they try to sell you their products?
Well, you might say something like, Miss, come have a look at this. But if you say something like that and I'm not interested, then what else are you going to say after that?
There's
then
many
I might
different
feel
ways
as
to
if,
try to sell your product, and if you're not interested, you indicate, okay, well, as much as this is nice to hear, I'm not interested. I keep it pushing. But for you to just gesture or to say, hey, this is what I'm selling, and
please
end
have
it
a
there,
look and
they move on from your product, then you cannot be mad at them because you did not make them want it. I'm not saying to chase them down the road, but you have to find creative ways to make them want your product.
But then you also have to remember too that it has been said that many cruise ship persons who come off from cruise ships don't necessarily patronize a lot of businesses, right?
And why is that?
Maybe because they're just not interested in things. You go to possibly every port, you're going to see little trinkets, little bracelet things. You're going to see the little coconut stuff, right? Remember, they're stopping in different ports. So what is, and especially if you're coming down here,
we can't take this call right now. We're gonna go to a break and then we'll come back.
Okay, so we'll take the call after. If you're stopping in, and I think where we may be at a disadvantage, let's say if we are the last port or the second to last port, maybe it could have been a case where they visited the other islands, purchased similar products in the other islands. So when they come here, they don't necessarily feel the need to patronize ours.
You have to make them want it. And if it is that you're offering what everybody else across the Caribbean is offering, you have to find a creative way to make them want it. And in basic business, they tell you, make your product stand out. Why is it? And let me not say business and marketing. Make them know the difference or why it is that your product is more important than the other product, or what is more appealing to your product than the other product.
But that means that you would have to have a unique selling point. And does your
that is what
business
you
actually
need.
have a unique selling point?
And
if
that is
all of
up
us
to
are
you
doing
to figure
jewelry,
out.
if we're all doing beaded jewelry, you go to Barbados, you see it. You go to Curacao, you see it. You come here in SVG, you see it. I may have already purchased one before in the other port. So why would I necessarily want to buy another one just because I've visited SVG? We thinking?
No, I'm not thinking. I'm not thinking. My point is that you need to find a way to sell your product to the tourists. You have to find a way to make them want it.
Yeah, I think what it is, especially for a lot of artisans, is that you have to have, as I said, that unique selling product. Your product may have to be a niche product that you cannot necessarily pick up somewhere else.
It doesn't have to be the product.
It
doesn't have to be the product.
You mean you as a person? You mean your charisma, your
it's your
vibrancy?
selling point. It's your unique selling point.
Yeah,
what is it about this product that you know that is different from this exact same product? Because A lot of businesses in St. Vincent and the Grenadines sell the same thing.
Mhm.
But what is it about gas, for instance? Persons often operate off this belief that Rubis lasts longer than Sol, but both of them buy from the same
Rubis is the one by in town?
in
next to-
Kittles and the one at the hospital.
Oh.
People always have of the opinion that these gas last longer than Sol,
I feel
than
so.
Richardson, and but they buy from the same supplier. So
And
how is that
particularly
possible?
one in
Is witchcraft? How are they doing that? Witchcraft?
No, listen to me. I don't know about the one in town next to hospital, but it does last longer. I don't know.
Exactly.
That's just my whole thing. But
And
anyway,
why is that? Because Rubis figured out a way.
I'm not doing a plug for
Rubis
any of
figured
them.
out a way. They're selling the same product, and they figured out a way to market the product better. That is what we should be doing in St. Vincent and Grenadines.
No,
But
but
we're
you
gonna
see,
take
this is
we're losing
me.
a lot of time. We're gonna take a quick break,
All
and then
right.
we'll be back.
It all started with a